watching the video. I know the setup looks a little different, but couldn't get my green screen set up right away. I wanted to, but we got the most humiliating Larry Bird trash talk story ever told. Let's get straight into the video, y'all. We ain't gonna waste no time. Let's get straight into it. You know I'm back with these videos. I know the setup's different, like I said, but let's get straight into it, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Gary Payton, a top 75 Hall of Fame player who won Defensive Player of the Year as a guard, was one of the greatest trash talkers of all time.
Payton with the steal and puts it down. And then apparently had something to say to Jordan.
Gary would talk to whoever, talk to refs, players, coaches on other teams, fans. Yeah. He talked nonstop and backed it up. So he was the guy that, I think was the ultimate.
But when Gary Payton first got in the league, he went up against a trash talker that was even better than him, and his name was Larry Bird.
Larry Bird was the coldest shit talker ever, man. And he bagged it up because he was so cold.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying?
And one night in the Boston Garden, Gary Payton got his welcome to the league moment because Larry Bird trash talked him so bad, it made him say this.
And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more.
This is the story of how Larry Bird humiliated Gary Payton and the Seattle Sonics so badly that they still tell stories about it 40 years later.
Yeah, playing at the Garden, man, on his last leg. Last leg, we're playing him, and he told me, young fella, let me tell you something. I can shoot a jumper anywhere I want to. And he said, you supposed to be a great defender, right? He said, I'm going to make sure I tell you where I'm going to shoot the ball at. And I was like, man, come on now. You're not going to shoot the ball. And so he said, I'm going to take you over in that corner right there. You see it over there by my bench, right? And I'm going to give you something, and it's going to be this jumper.
Right.
And I said, shit, watch this. So all of a sudden, we playing, and I'm D'ing him up, and he slow balled me. That's where I got the slow ball. Put your back to your back like this, and his back was bad during this time. So he went right to that corner, and I'm up on him, I'm under him, and he said, young fella, what did I tell you I was going to do? And he turned around, raised up, looked around, it was all draws. And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more. And that's just a veteran knowing how he can play.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And what he can do. He knew that I was smaller than him. He can shoot over me, and he can create space. When I'm trying to D people up, he learned how to neutralize me by turning his back and make me have to go through him. And if I reach on him, he'll turn and spin and get away from me, and he gone. And you couldn't do that. So that's just being smart about the game.
Gary Payton getting his welcome to the league story from Larry Bird is so impressive because Gary Payton was the type of person who never backed down from anyone. But for some reason, Larry Bird was just different.
See, growing up, my daddy always told me, whatever you step on anything and try to do it, I don't care if it's your mama or it's me, tear their head off because they trying to take it from you because he knew I'd never back down to nothing.
Yeah.
Can't do it with respect.
I ain't back down to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to walk out with my chest big as hell. And I want everybody to understand that I'm competitive in everything I do. I don't care what it is. If a girl comes to me and talk about she want to braid hair, give me 2 weeks and let me learn how to braid hair. I'll braid you. I'll do yours, bro. I'll braid your hair better than you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way I am. I've just been that way all my life.
But when two trash-talking alpha dogs collide, he who can back his trash talk up wins. So when Gary Payton met Larry Bird, Gary had to learn the hard way that he was going up against the greatest of all time.
On that note right there, I want to know who talked the most. Who talked the most? What, was Jordan a big talker?
It would when he get it going and you go at him. To me, he wasn't like that. He'll say stuff and get down at you, but he wasn't a shit talker. I think Larry Bird and Reggie Miller was the best shit talker.
Who?
Larry Bird was a cold.
And what?
Reggie Miller.
Reggie?
They was the coldest shit talkers
Oh
ever.
my golly wally. They be on IG.
Larry Bird would tell you. Larry Bird would tell you, I'm gonna take you over to this corner. I'm gonna dribble 2 times. I'm gonna hit your ass in the face, and it bet not touch the rim.
Wow.
And then he said, if it do, I'm gonna come right back and do it again until it touch it. That's how Larry Bird used to get at.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, Larry Bird was the coldest shit talker ever, man. And he bagged it up because he was so cold.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? So people, ask people about him. Motherfucker used to tell you, boy, you can't do shit with me. I'm too motherfucking good for this.
Wow.
I'm going to give you a Christmas present. This jumper in your face. He used to always say this, man.
He just seems so mild-mannered, huh?
Gary Payton was the victim to some of Larry Bird's best trash talk, but it wasn't only aimed at him. Sometimes, Larry's trash talk was aimed at some of Gary Payton's best teammates, and he just happened to get a front row seat.
One time we was playing in the Boston Garden, and Xavier McDaniel was guarding, and him and Xavier got into it, and because how Xavier was, and Xavier kept getting on him, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna hit 3-4 jumpers in a row all net. If I don't do it, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a problem, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it. And next thing you know, they were blowing us out, and he went out. And next thing you know, I look up at the shot clock, and Larry Bird coming back in. Like, what? And then all of a sudden, he walked over to our bench. He said, I told Xavier that what I was going to do to him, and I didn't do it, so I had to come back in and do it. And as soon as he got the ball, they gave him the ball 3 times. He hit 3 jump shots all net.
Larry again. Bird isolated this time on McDaniel. No one comes in the double. Now Johnson, but he was late.
Then he walked by our bench. He said, I told you what I'm going to do, and I'm always going to do it. And he looked at Xavier, and he said, didn't I tell you what I was going to do? And then he walked out, man.
And X-Man wasn't no soft dude either.
No, he was not.
Xavier wasn't soft, man. And Larry wasn't either, man. Larry said, man, I'm going to give it to you any way I want to. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, step back, and then I'm going to hit it. And I was like, this dude real cold, man. And y'all got to understand, he wasn't even at full tilt. He was having back issues and everything because I only played against him for 2 years. So I was like, I seen him.
You didn't even get Prime Bird. You didn't even get Prime Bird.
I didn't even get Prime Bird, and I seen him at the tail end, and I was like, man, this dude is cold.
And this was in Larry Bird's final 2 years in the league when he had serious back issues. So just imagine how cold Larry Bird was in his prime. Well, his teammate Xavier McDaniel does have a little bit of experience of Larry Bird in his prime, because one night in Seattle, with 13 seconds left in the game and the score tied at 102, one of Larry Bird's greatest moments just so happens to be against Xavier McDaniel. And even though the X-Man was one of the toughest players in the league, Larry Bird still talked his trash and gave Xavier McDaniel one of the greatest shots of Larry Bird's career.
And the Celtics call timeout.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? It's Larry. And when he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
It was under 10 seconds. And we came back out of the timeout. Larry said, I'm going to get it right here, X, and I'm going to shoot it in your blinking face. And I was like, well, I'll be right here waiting on you, too.
10 seconds. 5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. 2 seconds on the clock, and timeout used by the Sonics.
He hit it and looked at me. He was like, damn. I didn't mean to leave nothing on the clock. And I just looked at him and said, oh, conceited bastard.
I get a charge when I tell somebody on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's
Yo, this is crazy. He's crazy. Crazy.
what it's all about.
This step back jump shot, a move that Larry Bird invented, coming from a 6'10" sharpshooter, was damn near unstoppable. And to pull it out with the game on the line while telling his opponent exactly what he's going to do and where he's going to do it has to be one of the most savage moments in Larry Bird's career.
Game over, and the Boston Celtics have defeated a very disappointed Sonics club. Final score, Celtics 104, Sonics 102.
We sit back out and have a beer out in the locker room, and we was we may be talking. It's like, white boy just lit you up. And I used to always say that, like to my friends, it's like, yo, is Larry really that good? I used to say like, yeah, that's the baddest white boy I ever played against.
But one of the greatest stories was on Gary Payton's best teammate ever on the Seattle Sonics, Shawn Kemp. Because when Shawn Kemp was a rookie, Larry Bird gave him a welcome to the league moment that he'll never forget.
Man, my ass got busted real early, man.
I came into the league, man. I was right.
Youngest player in the NBA, this 6'10" forward is only 20 years old.
You know how some of them vets, man, they play you to the T, man. I got played down in Boston one night. We was playing Boston Celtics. So the great Larry Bird. Me and Larry are from the same place of Indiana. And I had a great privilege of not knowing Larry, but I played against his brother, Eddie, coming up through the ranks a little bit. I was the young guy that kind of came up through the history in Indiana and kind of broke a lot of Larry Bird's records. So Larry kind of had already known about me a little bit. When we got to Boston that morning, I knew something wasn't right. I saw an X-Man. He was limping around the court a little bit like he was sore. I figured he'd be all right, you know.
Xavier McDaniel. I figured he'd be all right by the time. I go to the game on the early bus. I get there. They come out on the court. They say, "Hey, Shawn, you starting tonight against Larry." And I was like, "What the hell?" For some reason, X-Man got this injury right before the game. And then he had a...
Nah, he was scared. He was scared to play him. That's what that was. He was scared.
knee injury right before the game.
Yeah, for sure.
So here I am have to face Larry Bird. Well, first of all, he asked me to jump ball. He said, "You the cat that broke all my records in high school, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Yeah, you're the one that used to dunk my brother too, right?" Like, Eddie. And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "I got you for you tonight."
Bird will take the first shot. Larry on a wing. Got it. Bird open. Hits on the baseline.
And I'm from Indiana. Larry's from Indiana. I broke a lot of his records in high school.
Did you really?
And he let me know about it the whole entire game. Absolutely.
3 on 3 the other way. Bird wants it. Got it.
During the game, Shawn Kemp was guarding Larry. And I mean, Larry's just like talking shit. Bernie calls a timeout. I was like, "Hey, what the fuck that motherfucker says, man?" He was like, telling me I'm the best fucking player from Indiana and shot a 3 in my face.
Bird gets it back for 3. Knocks it down.
I said, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, shit. That damn Larry Legend, man, he's a motherfucker, man."
X-Man told a story on Tim Thomas and Scoop Beats podcast about Larry Bird talking shit to you, saying, "I'm the best motherfucker from Indiana. Put a 3 into my balls." That's true?
It is very true, man. You know, Larry, hey, man, first of all, we got to Boston that night. He had some knee pain. I was like, "It's a hell of a time for you to come up with a knee pain." I ain't going tonight. You got it. Yeah,
you don't want to see that.
Yeah, then I look at the boy, Shawn Kemp, Larry Bird, and I'm like,
what year was this for you?
This was my first year.
Oh, okay.
And that morning they came out with a USA Today article, and they said that Larry didn't have it no more. So he came out that night to make a statement, and I was just the prime candidate to be man. Before the game, he told me, he was like, he just shook his head at me. He said, "Man, it's going to be a fucked up night for you."
Larry got free. Knocked down 2. Bird sneaking up the floor. Squares up.
Well, he's got the stroke back today.
He sure does.
So what did he put up?
I think he gave me, I think he gave me 46 and 3.
What'd you do?
Man, I had to foul out, but I was on his ass. I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was on. He was actually calling out bank shots. So every shot he was calling at the defensive end, he would tell me, he'd be like, "When I get down to the other end, I'm gonna pump fake you, get a hand one on you, look at you, go off the glass." That's how cold Larry Bird was.
Bird flashing through. Tough shot. Knocks it down. 25.
They were right on his shooting hand that time.
Bird for 3, and he got it outside with 5 on the shot clock. Over tonight than in any other game this year, as Bird is now at 34 and counting.
He would say, next time, bank shot left side, "I'm gonna pump fake you. Your dumb ass gonna go for it."
He would tell you that, and it happened.
And I said, first of all, I'm gonna be so close to you. If you shoot the ball next year, I'm gonna try to rip your fucking arm off your socket. Man, I was to the point of like, look, I'm gonna foul him so hard that he's basically gonna take his will.
he started shooting the ball with his left hand, man. I was trying to foul his right arm. He was shooting with his left hand, banking it off on me, looking at me, still slapping me on my butt and everything, man, telling me everything. What you think he did, man? A quick pump fake, dog, and he go for that shit here.
Got you.
Man, come on, man.
Larry, little runner, goes off the glass.
Oh, boy. Haven't seen one of those in a while.
38 for Bird. Bird again for 2.
And then Larry, he actually invited me to his house that summer after the game, man. He told me, he said, you come to the house and shoot around with me. This summer I'll show you how to shoot the ball, young fella.
Larry Legend. Straight up.
Bird on the 20-year-old Kemp. Takes a follow-away. Oh, he's got 40.
Larry Bird torched everybody on the Seattle Sonics for years, and he did it trash talking every step of the way.
Bird hits the hook. What a shot by Larry Bird.
So when Gary Payton, who is one of the greatest trash talkers of all time, says that Larry Bird is an even greater trash talker than him, you better listen and realize just how great Larry Bird is.
Bird talk shit like we talk. Let me tell y'all something. Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucker jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats, and we always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. The shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold. Cold dude, man. Real cold. And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more.
Yes, wraps it up for this video, y'all. But yeah, man, this is just Larry Legend. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, Larry Legend. Larry Bird is a beast. Like Gary Payton, I definitely know he was definitely one of the ones to talk like crazy, man. Like, and he's saying Larry Bird, like that's what we know is trash talk, but that's amazing. But anyway, subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, turn on that bell, man. I appreciate y'all. We are back with these videos. We're gonna keep going up. And yeah, that's about it, man. I'm about to get on to the next video. You know, just gonna run it up, y'all. We just gonna keep the train rolling like I always say. And I appreciate y'all, man. If you're new, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. And we just gonna keep it going and just look for the next video. And I'm out. Love y'all so much. Peace.